Have you ever wondered how your income compares to other Australians? In this video, I'll take you through Australia's average and median income, what income level is considered middle class, and what it takes to be in the country's top 20%, 10%, and 1%. I'll also share some insights into wage growth, inflation, and house prices since the onset of COVID-19. Towards the end, I'll show you how to easily get a result like this, ranking your individual and household income among all Australians and people in your age group. It's a jam-packed video, so without any further ado, let's dive in. On 15th of August 2024, the Australian Bureau of Statistics (ABS) released data on average weekly earnings. It showed that the average weekly ordinary time earnings for full-time adults increased to $1,923.40 in May 2024. This is equivalent to an annual income of just over $100,000, and this figure is before tax and excludes superannuation, bonuses, or overtime pay. However, the truth is that the person who earns a middle income in Australia is not the person who is on average full-time salary. The exceptionally high income of the few, like these CEOs, can drag up the average for everyone. So this average figure can be quite misleading, which is why the median income is a better guide to the typical income in Australia. The word median means that if you lined up everyone in the room by income, the person right in the middle would earn this amount. Half of the people in the room earn more than this person, while the other half earn less. According to the ABS, the median weekly full-time earnings was $1,710 in May 2023, which is equivalent to an annual income of $88,920. This is already lower than the average full-time earnings we discussed earlier. Of course, in addition to full-time workers, there are many part-time employees. When part-time income are included, the median employee income drops to $1,300 per week, or $67,600 per year. So out of over 14 million people employed in Australia, men and women, full-time and part-time, this is what we call a middle salary or a typical salary. So far, we've been talking about employee incomes, but not all people are employees, and people could have income sources other than wages and salaries. Based on the Census 2021, the national median personal income was $805 per week, which is $41,860 per year. This included the adult population from 15 years to over 85 years, including those who are unemployed or retired. There were over 9.6 million people earning below the national median personal income or earning no income at all. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, real wage growth has consistently been in negative territory. Over the last 4 years, the cumulative effect is that although people's paychecks are getting bigger, their purchasing power has shrunk by approximately 8 to 10%. That's the best case scenario. It gets worse if you want to buy a home. Did you know that house prices are included in the CPI calculation in a very limited way? It includes the cost of new dwellings, rent, utilities, maintenance and repairs, property rates and charges, but it does not include the price of existing dwellings, the cost of land, and mortgage interest charges. Since the onset of COVID-19 in March 2020, housing values across Australia have seen substantial increases. The national average has risen by 38.3%, with cities like Adelaide, Brisbane, and Perth leading the way, each experiencing growth of over 65%. Pair that with the real wage shrinking 8 to 10%, it's easy to understand why people are struggling with the cost of living and finding the housing market unaffordable. In this environment where wages are stagnant, the cost of living is rising, and housing prices are surging, it's no surprise people said they need significantly more to feel wealthy. A recent survey conducted by Finder revealed that the average Aussie believes an annual income of $307,000 is necessary to feel rich. On top of having $450,000 in savings, a superannuation balance of $1.4 million, and property equity of $1.3 million. While this standard might seem unrealistic to some, it does reflect how people feel about how expensive everything has become. If you're enjoying this video so far, I think you're gonna love what's coming up next, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's take a closer look at the higher end of the income spectrum. How much do you need to earn to be in the country's top 20%, 10%, and 1%? Each year, the ATO publishes a breakdown of the taxable income distribution of Australian workers. The latest comprehensive data is derived from all tax returns for financial year 2022. If you have a taxable income of over 100,000, you are among the top 20% of Australian income earners. Note that this is taxable income, meaning income from all sources after deductions, but before income tax and the medical levy are taken out. If your taxable income exceeds 120,000 per annum, you are among the top 10% of income earners. A taxable income of over 350,000 will place you in the country's top 1%. This highlights that, like many countries, Australia has a pyramid-shaped income distribution. A small elite group earns very high incomes, while the majority of the population earns average or lower incomes. You might have heard of the term middle-class income before and wondered what it means in Australia. First, it's important to note that middle-class income is often linked to household income rather than individual income. In Australia, the term isn't as commonly used or clearly defined as it is in countries like the United States. However, I'll try to explain it as clearly as possible. The OECD defines middle class as households earning between 3/4 and double the national median household income. According to the ABS, the median equivalized disposable household income in 2021 and 2022 was $1,104 per week, or $57,408 per year. Using the OECD definition, a household earning between approximately $43,000 and $115,000 per year would be considered middle class in Australia. There are a few key points to keep in mind though. First, these figures are after personal income tax and the medical levy, and they include social benefits like government assistance. This shows how much income is actually available for spending and saving. Secondly, these figures are for a household with one adult. To adjust for household size, you can use this formula. Lastly, where you live makes a big difference. The same income can mean very different living standards in different parts of Australia. So take that with a grain of salt, and remember, in Australia, middle class is more of a concept based on relative income levels and social context, rather than strict income benchmarks. To better understand where households stand in the overall income distribution, the ABS divides all household incomes into 5 equal groups called quintiles. The average earnings of the top 20% are 12 times the average earnings of the bottom 20%. The bottom 20% earns just 4% of all income, and the top 20% earns 48% of all income. These figures are household income before tax and exclude social benefits. Government and non-profit programs like income tax, social assistance benefit, and other support are designed to make the distribution of the disposable income fairer. After the effect of those, the share of disposable income among the 5 quintiles are somewhat rebalanced. What do you think about the government's effort to rebalance income distribution? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to find out the easy way how your individual and household income compare to all Australians or people in your age group, head to the calculator on the Poverty and Inequality website. I'll put the link in the description box down below. Simply enter your personal income, household composition, and your age. You can compare your personal and household income to people your age and all Australians. Now you know exactly how your income compares. Watch this video to find out how your net worth compares.